Here, when our path takes an unexpected turn, we keep moving forward. When life sends us a message, we listen. When you're determined to beat the odds, we help you plan for what's next. This is commitment, resourcefulness, determination. These are remarkable people doing remarkable things together.
voice of the Valley, KOVC. We've got a false start, don't we? Let's go ahead and take care of that. My apologies, folks. We'll try that again. Welcome to the Highlander Activity Center tonight, downtown Valley City, for live coverage of Highlander boys basketball. The Highlanders will take on the Fargo. So the players just keep coming, and there are no breaks against a team like this, and that's one of the reasons why they are just so devastating when it comes down to Eastern Dakota Conference basketball. So with that, the Highlanders have to try to climb that mountain. If there is one thing that we're beginning to find out about Valley City, it's that their rotation is beginning to come together. Valley City will go with the same 5 starters that we've seen a couple of games ago, and they seem to have been finding some players that are going to play in certain spots for them. So as they get ready to make the postseason run, only 5 points left to play for in the Eastern Dakota Conference, they at least seem to begin to find an identity, to put something together as far as a lineup that's going to make them what they think they're going to be. And so that's important for Valley City to find that consistency going in, and that's something that we'll talk about tonight. Fargo Davies at 16-1 in the league, 14-2 overall. Valley City's 0-17 inside conference play and 1-15 overall. And that's how we welcome you out to the Highlander Activity Center tonight here in downtown Valley City. As we continue with our Sanford Health Valley City pregame report, it's brought to you tonight by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. When we come back, we'll dive into the complete Eastern Dakota Conference standings, so stick around for that. That's on the way here in just a couple of moments, and we'll also take a look at our starting lineups and get ready for tip-off of tonight's matchup, which should be right around that 7:25 mark or so here at the Highlander Activity Center. It's our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. The Highlanders hosting the Fargo Davies Eagles tonight. Highlander basketball continues next on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
You don't want to fumble it away with these 2 events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops? For the big game, Valentine's Day, or anytime, remember Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time. At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Smith Lumber Home Center is your store for everyone. Now through February 18th, there are all kinds of deals to love. Specials of the month, quick set lock set, $9.99. Other deals for him or her do-it-yourselfers, channel lock folding sawhorse, $39.97. Milwaukee work gloves, $25.99. Check the deals to love flyer that includes all kinds of cleaning supplies, birdseed, humidifiers, heaters, and more. Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City, your store for everyone.
Welcome back to the Highlander Activity Center tonight. It's live coverage of Highlander boys basketball here on the Voice of the Highlanders and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening from the Hack. Fargo Davies comes calling to take on the Highlanders tonight. Our pregame report is brought to you by Sanford Health, Valley City, here for all and here for good. Let's take a look at the latest that we have in our conference standings coming into tonight. In the Eastern Dakota Conference boys play, Fargo Davies, as we mentioned, is the front runner. They're 3.5. Let's make that 2.5 games up on the Fargo North Spartans right now. Davies 16-1 in the league. North is 12-3. North, of course, would have a couple of games in hand against Fargo Davies to play for in the East. Be in a situation where one of the assistant coaches would have to coach the team that night, but the Highlanders were gracious and decided to move the schedule, and that's why the Highlanders have been able to get one game in with Davies already. They were both supposed to play that Thursday. The girls got weathered out, and then their makeup game got weathered out again, and so they play at Davies tonight, and the teams have just decided that one's going to be worth both league points at this point. Going into the night in girls play, Red River's 16-1, Davies is 15-1, West Fargo's 14-3, and Cheyenne is 12-5. Shanley's 9-6, Wahpeton's 8-8, North 6-9, Devils Lake 5-12, Horace 5-12, Valley City 4-12. There's still a lot of movement for the Highlanders that they can accomplish, and they've got a big one with Fargo South to try to get some of that moving done coming up on Friday here at the Highlander Activity Center. Central's 4-13, and South is 0-16, and our next matchup here at the Hack is going to be Valley City's girls and Fargo South. And that is a drive for the title look, and it's brought to you tonight on our pregame report, which is presented by Sanford Health, Valley City, here for all and here for good. As far as the main weapons coming into the night tonight for these two teams, we mentioned Mason Claybo, 22.1 points per game, and Cole Calise, 21.4 points per contest as well. Two really, really outstanding basketball players, but 8 players on this roster for Fargo Davies, average in double figures coming in. For Valley City, Zach Sikora, the leader, at 14.3 points per game. Callahan Birchall at 8.8 points per game. Talon Larson's come on strong lately, and Will Eggert will get another start tonight due to his defensive prowess, and we'll talk more about that as we get closer to starting lineups time. So hang on for that, and we'll have that for you coming up here in just a couple of moments. But right now, we're getting set for the start of this one. Our national anthem will be on the way here shortly. It's Valley City and Fargo Davies tonight from the Highlander Activity Center. This is Highlander basketball and the Sanford Health pregame report. You're on the Voice of the Valley and the voice of the Highlanders, KOBC.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Lockout Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue at 701-845-6938 or James M. Lockout at CPA 701-845-1660. Services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities offered through Pro Equities Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer and member FINRA and SIPC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
February is the month of love and romance. Get creative with a gift for your loved one from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy.
We would like to say thank you to Epworth's Holy Grounds for being the Highlander Superfans Couch sponsor this evening. Cheerleaders for the Highlanders are 7th grade Haven Curtis and freshman Lauren May. And now your starting lineups. First, for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Fargo Davies Eagles. Wearing number 2, the 6'1" guard junior Daniel Yorkie. Wearing number 3, a 6'1" guard sophomore Mason Claybo. Wearing number 11, he's a senior, 5'11", Raymond Brown. And number 14, 6'3" forward, junior Alpha Camara. And wearing number 22, 6'2" guard, senior Riley Hansen. The Eagles are coached by Mark Hansen and assisted by Jacob Hook, Andre Zimmerman, and Brad. I don't know how time you talk to Jesse. And now for your Valley City Highlanders. First, starting at guard, he's a senior, 6'3", Standing 6'3", wearing number 20, Will Anger. And a senior guard, standing 6'1", wearing number 21, Aiden Jacobson. Number 23, he's a junior guard, standing 6'2", Zach Sikora. And a 6'6", he's a junior forward, wearing number 32, it's Talon Larson. And in the middle, standing 6'4", senior forward, number 42, Callahan Burchill. The team is coached by Ty Terry, assisted by Brandon Bradford. Officials for tonight's game are Jacob Schlecht, Cody Wilson, and Andrew Curry.
Coach Vic, bring a guy in off the bench that averages at 21 point night performance when he goes out there. But Fargo Davies playing a little different level than a lot of teams. Last time we saw Talon Larson inside, he had a very nice night rebounding the basketball, doing some positive things, scoring. He's going to take the jump against Delta Kamara. Kamara gets way up in the air and taps the ball out of bounds. And we'll see where it goes. Looks like it's going to be Highlander basketball in the front court as Kamara got up there a little high and knocked it beyond the near sideline. So Valley City will inbound off of the near sideline. And Abe Jacobson set to throw it in for the Highlanders. And Jacobson having some trouble finding an open man. Callahan Burchill comes over to take a bounce pass and stops at the top of the key. Will Eggert has it contested out in front of him by Daniel and Gorky. He'll come back towards the right. A bump that time by Kamara. Eggert pushes the stop at the dribble. Back to Jacobson. Look back to the corner. Will Eggert ball faking towards the post. Goes inside. Talon Larson squares up. Off the glass. Talon Larson scoring the first 2 points of the night. Talon Larson squaring up inside and getting a night off to a good start. And the Highlanders will take the opening lead as we see Yorkie bring the ball to the front court. A handoff to Kamara. Now Mason Clavo comes off the top of the key. Will Brown left side. 3-point shot good. Raymond Brown, correction. Raymond Brown stepping into a 3-point shot and scoring for Fargo Davies. And the Eagles take a 3-0 lead. Pressure from the Eagles in the backcourt. Jacobson beats it to Sikora. Ball fakes on the 3-to-5 defender and then gave to Callahan Burchill that if mishandles the basketball, it's going to go out of bounds off of Fargo Davies. Rather off of the Highlanders. And the Eagles get the basketball back. And now a bit of a conversation going on at the scorer's table, and I think it has to do with the possession arrow. Maybe not. They're going to leave the possession arrow towards Valley City. The only possession technically went to Valley City, but that's because Fargo Davies knocked the ball out of bounds, so I was wondering if they would rule that a possession and then a turnover, but as it turns out, the possession arrow will stay with the Eagles as far as the advantage is concerned. Eagles with the basketball out to the top. Ray Brown driving in, turns it back to the top of the key. Yorkie going hard down the left side of the paint, switches back to the right hand and scores. Daniel Yorkie with his first 2 points, and it's 5-2, a 3-point lead in favor of Fargo Davies. Aiden Jacobson, baseballing one up the middle, through Mason Clavo's hand, nearly turnover. Talon Larson takes a pass for Callahan Burchill. Larson has his next field goal. All 4 points for the Highlanders coming from Talon Larson. It's 5-4. Highlanders are back within 1. Mason Clavo driving, kicking out. Ray Brown, left corner 3 strong. Rebound spiked loose by Kamara. A kickoff from Jacobson, lead pass to Callahan Burchill to the glass, and Burchill will score his first 2. Highlanders getting a little bit aggressive after coming up with a rebound. They run the floor and score, and it's 6-5 in favor of Valley City on your LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard after nearly 2 minutes of the opening half.
First person, first team foul.
Fargo Davies back in the front court after forcing a Highlander turnover. Claybo in the lane, pulls up on a runner, missed it. Kamara came up with an offensive rebound. Out to the top, Calise for three, hits it. Cole Calise stepping into a three-point shot, and the lead is now 17-6. It's a 12-0 run in favor of Fargo Davies as we make it to the 10:50 mark of the opening half. Peterson left side for Valley City, a kick out that's deflected by Kamara. We talked so much about Davies' offense in the pregame report. Their defense didn't really occur to us to go through, but what they've done here tonight, they've isolated. Valley City's gone something like 5 minutes without scoring the basketball. Aiden Jacobson driving left, got in, high bank shot. There is a breakup of the shutout for Aiden Jacobson and the Highlanders. Jacobson knocks down his first bucket tonight, and it breaks up a 12-0 Fargo Davies run. The Highlanders are back within 9 by a score of 17-8. Yorkie right side for the Eagles, a drive in, whistle. We're going to wave off a shot. We'll see a foul on the floor. It looked like Zach Sikora was trying to sell a charge on Yorkie, and Sikora is going to be called for a blocking foul. Fourth on Valley City, the first against Sikora. Ari Bratrud, Reese Krewald come in. It's good to see Reese. Reese Krewald's been in that middle rotation for Valley City now. He's kind of worked his way up as far as playing time is concerned. And Ari Bratrud as well. Bratrud is 6'5" senior. Krewald, 6'1" senior getting into the game. Claybo down the baseline, backdoor Riley Hansen in the right block. Turns it back out top of the key to Ray Brown. Now to Yorkie, who makes the dribble and a kick. Mason Claybo, right corner three, not square, but he hit it. Mason Claybo stepping into a three-point shot. Kind of had his right shoulder turned to the basket, and the lead is 20-8. Fargo Davies now on top by a 12-point margin, and more pressure in the backcourt. And Valley City had to call a timeout as the trap was on from Fargo Davies and being executed very well. So a timeout taken by the Highlanders to save a possession. 10:04 to play until halftime. It's Fargo Davies 20, Valley City 8 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, and this is Highlander basketball on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
No matter where you live, you should have access to high-quality health care. Jamestown Regional Medical Center's orthopedic and sports medicine team offers care for hips, shoulders, knees, and toes. When an injury occurs, teams need care quickly. That's why the JRMC orthopedic team promises same-day and next-day appointments. Schedule direct at jrmcnd.com or call 952-4878.
Jamestown Regional Medical Center will never stop building for you.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
Welcome back to Highlander basketball, the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here tonight. Valley City with the basketball. They trail by a dozen at 20-8. This represents a 15-2 run for Fargo Davies. Inside, Carson Eggert will score with the left hand on a touch pass from Ari Bratrud. Carson Eggert getting the Highlanders free of some trapping pressure and scoring. And the Highlanders are back within 10 after the fast break bucket. Claybo to Ray Brown on the top of the key. 3 good for Ray Brown just that quickly. Fargo Davies comes back with the answer. 23-10. Fargo Davies now on top by 13. Breaking out of the trap is Aiden Jacobson. He tried to go down low to Bratrud and it was deflected up towards the window. Ray Brown comes up with it off of the backboard. That could have very easily scored for Valley City on just a simple deflection. Claybo just inside the arc. Jumper dangles and won't fall. Carver Peterson had the board and had it swatted out of his hands by Mason Claybo. It's going to stay Highlander basketball, and Zach Sikora will come back into the matchup for Valley City. So the Highlanders will get back on the floor with Zach Sikora, their leading scorer on the season, the only man in double figures for the Highlanders. Sikora coming up the floor, tried to kick down low, and the ball was stolen by Nick Hasbargen, who came in on the last break. Jump stop by Yorkie to the glass, missed a bank shot high. Rebound deflected out of bounds, waiting for a call. This is going to be Davies basketball, as Ari Bratrud and Carver Peterson were fighting with each other for position to bring down the board. And now Mark Gubrud's going to come in on the backside and say, here's what I saw. Our first official, Kirk Olson, indicating Davies, which is what I would have indicated in that situation. From the looks of it, it looked like two Highlanders knocked it out of bounds, but Mark Gubrud, also here officiating tonight, stepped in and said, hey, I think I saw this, and the official said, okay, we'll put it together. Davies is going to force the ball back in their hands on the alternating arrow on the inbounds pass. The Highlanders trying to inbound, knocked it away, and on the trap, it goes to Fargo Davies as they'll get it back off the held ball with the arrow pointing in their direction. 9 minutes to go in the opening half. Claybo from 17, baseline jumper off the inbounds pass missed. Yorkie comes down with the rebound, and then Ari Bratrud got his hands in there and yanks it away from Yorkie of Fargo Davies. And the Highlanders back up the floor with the basketball, still down 13. Carson Eggert, Bratrud cutting in, tried to get through a double team, came to a stop and traveled as he got right in front of the rim. Bratrud had a pretty good look that time and made a nice little piece of footwork there as well, but just pulled that pivot foot a little bit, and that was enough to indicate the travel. And here comes Davies with the basketball. Yorkie front court handing off to Claybo. That should have been a walk, but they'll play through it. Ray Brown on the right side. It came high on Claybo, and he just kept running with the ball underneath his hands. Hasbargen driving in, missing on a floater in the lane. Reese Krewald comes up with a rebound that was deflected by Bratrud. He throws the ball off Mason Claybo's leg and ends up out of bounds. And it will be Highlander basketball in the front court. 8:25 to play until halftime. Inbounds pass, Krewald into Carson Eggert, 23-10. It's been a lethargic affair. The Highlander defense has done okay against this Fargo Davies offensive juggernaut tonight. Carson Eggert into Bratrud, dribble, drive, and draw. Ari Bratrud will score off the glass. And the last few games that we've seen Ari Bratrud, he's done some scoring as he's been in the right spots, waiting for those guards to draw defenders off of him, and he finishes. Lead cut to 11. Claybo takes a no-look pass from Yorkie in the right corner. Claybo trying to back his man down, goes down low. Riley Hansen all over it. Easy play inside for Riley Hansen. That's Claybo's creativity. He can do more than just score. Took a couple of defenders with him and opened things up for Hansen waiting in the block. Highlanders trapped in the backcourt. Outlet pass to Zach Sikora. They beat the count with Carson Eggert, and a transition three misses everything. Rebound goes out of bounds, and we'll go back to Fargo Davies with 7:38 left to go until halftime. Return for Max Mitzel for the Eagles. And Fargo Davies will inbound the basketball in the backcourt to Daniel Yorkie, who takes a look over at head coach Bart Manson and brings his team back into the front court, the lefty dribble. Carson Eggert waiting for him on top. Riley Hansen will take it right side. Off a screen, Claybo looking for a seal. Drives the lane instead. Kicks down low, and he was fouled before he got it to Mitzel, waiting on the right block. This will be on the floor, and it will be the fifth team foul. The sixth against Valley City. We'll see who gets it here. Is it Sikora? If it is, that's his second. That's going to force the hand of Highlander head coach Ty Terry, perhaps. Ty taking a long look. Zach Sikora, the leading scorer for the Highlanders, out there with two fouls, and 7:23 to play till halftime. So this is a roll of the dice for Valley City here. Yorkie jump stop in the lane, comes up short in the lay-in. Aiden Jacobson comes away with the rebound, sends it out to Bratrud, and now a shovel to Sikora into a 3-on-3 after breaking the pressure. He'll give it back to Jacobson trailing. Jacobson curling into the left lane, out to Callahan Burchell back in the game for Valley City. Burchell, a couple of jab steps. Dribble got a little high. He'll stop it. Comes to Sikora. Bratrud right block. Back out to Burchell. A head fake looking at a three, and Burchell went hard into Max Mitzel. Lost the basketball. Loose ball to Ray Brown. Hard take to the basket, and here comes the third foul against Zach Sikora. Getting back defensively and falling away from Ray Brown. He'll be called for a blocking foul, and that is the roll of the dice we were talking about a moment ago. Third foul against Zach Sikora, and Ty Terry will go to Talon Larson on the Highlander bench and send Talon back into the matchup as Ray Brown steps into a successful foul shot. Brown now with 9 points tonight for Fargo Davies. One more gives him an early double figure with just under 7 to play. The lead is 14, new biggest lead of the night for the Eagles, and the lead will grow to 15 as Brown knocks down both ends. 27-12. Valley City down 15 to Fargo Davies on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard with 6:45 to play until halftime. Callahan Burchell, baseline cut. Everybody left alone. Burchell in easy. Callahan Burchell, baseline cut on the left side. That baseline opened up, and now we'll see Bart Manson go to his bench as well. He was frustrated the defense gave up that easy a look. Ray Brown, a behind-the-back dribble, spins it out right side. Mitzel, corner three, ends up empty, and the rebound trickles out of bounds in front of a waiting Peter Havelka for Fargo Davies, a 6'5 junior center that came on during the last dead ball. Claybo's going to get a break for Fargo Davies, and the Eagles will send in Kamani Davis a 6'2 senior for his first rotation tonight. Lead cut to 13 after Callahan Burchell's bucket. It's 27-14. Fargo Davies with the lead. Will Eggert backdoor in the right baseline. Turns to Talon Larson. Catch and shoot long, too short. And the rebound comes down inside to Havelka for Fargo Davies. The Eagles will bring it back up the front court. Ray Brown on top, pulling up. Three-point shot missed wildly. He got his own miss. Brings it back in the lane and left one short. Talon Larson got a little handsy going after the basketball, and he's going to pick up a foul. First on Talon Larson. The Highlanders have to be extremely careful here now with Zach Sikora already in foul trouble, and Sikora still on the floor. I thought Talon Larson was going to come in for him. Sikora will sit down now as Carson Eggert comes back into the matchup. But, boy, I'll tell you what, Ty Terry really sort of trusting Providence there with the status of Zach Sikora after picking up that third foul. Second foul shot is good for Ray Brown. And Brown will make it a 15-point game for Fargo Davies at 29-14 with just under 6 to play until halftime. Highlanders up front. Jacobson trying to make his move to the corner. He's cut off by Havelka. A reversal back top of the key. Carson Eggert. Post entry to Talon Larson. Broken up by Max Mitzel. And up the floor in transition, Cole Calise will score on a nice pass coming from Ray Brown to complete the transition. Cole Calise with 5. Highlanders down 17 now at 31-14. Jacobson off the dribble from 18 short. Brown comes up with a board. Here comes Davies ranging back into the front court with it. A spin by Brown to his left hand down the baseline. Got underneath the bucket. Turns it back to Calise, and now Mitzel on the left side. He'll drive against Callahan Burchell. Reversal back to Calise on top. Right wing Ray Brown going behind the back against Will Eggert. Brown stepping in towards the right corner. A drive by Havelka, stumbling and losing it. But Ray Brown picks up the, I guess you'd call it miss. Stuck it back a little strong, but Davies again with an O board. Mitzel fires a three. Another O board for Ray Brown. His putback draws a foul. 4 bites at the apple for Fargo Davies on the possession. Highlanders couldn't rebound, and they'll be called for a foul that will put Brown on the foul line. Carson Eggert's first, and that's the 9th against Valley City, so their last foul to give before the double penalty here in the opening half. First foul shot comes up short from Ray Brown. The return of Mason Clabo wasn't out long. Max Mitzel will come off the floor for the Eagles. Clabo comes back in. This for Brown to try to make it an 18-point night for the Eagles, and that one's good, not for he, rather, but for the Eagles on the lead. 32-14, Fargo Davies leading. Will Eggert lost handle of the ball in the backcourt, and another timeout will be taken by Valley City. This will be their third of the opening half, and even 5 minutes to go till halftime, and the Eagles leading 32-14 over the Highlanders on our LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Highlander basketball.
At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
So the Highlanders have used their third timeout here in the opening half. Their defensive effort has not been a bad one tonight. 32 points given up to Davies over a 13-minute stretch. Maybe you'd like to do a little bit better than that, but overall, they've done a nice job on some of the biggies for the Eagles, but offensively, it's been a rough night for Valley City. Callahan Burchell gets trapped in the high post and turns the basketball over. This comes out towards the right side. The ball ends up going right through the hands of Ray Brown and out of bounds. And the ball's going back into the hands of Valley City on a Eagles turnover. Couple of changes here for the Eagles, perhaps just one. Calise is still in the game. We'll see the return of Nick Hasbargen, who's had an earlier rotation for the Eagles. Callahan Burchell loads up and hits Carson Eggert on a lead pass into the front court. Eggert a crossover to Burchell in the high post behind him. Mason Clabo comes down with a deflected basketball for the Eagles. Fargo Davies forces another turnover. They'll walk back into the front court, looking to take this lead to 20 or better. Clabo in the left corner, back to the basket on Will Eggert. Squares up, now steps in, jump stop down low, and a cut down the baseline for an and one for Parker Havelka, who finishes and goes to the foul line. He got a step. Again, Mason Clabo creating by drawing a defender, and a foul coming up against Valley City that will put Havelka on the line for a three-point opportunity. The foul is against Talon Larson. That's his second. Ari Bratrud will have to come in, and this is going to be a long stretch now for Ari Bratrud. He'll have to play 4 minutes and 23 seconds to finish out the opening half. Sikora on the bench with 3, Talon Larson with 2. So the Highlanders will need some big minutes here from Ari Bratrud, as Parker Havelka will go to the foul line to try to finish a three-point play for the Eagles. Comes up strong off the heel of the rim, and Havelka will keep it at a 20-point edge for Fargo Davies, and that was a backdoor. Well, we're going to call that a backcourt violation, was waiting. It took a while for the whistle. For those of you that saw it on the video feed tonight, Ari Bratrud took an awkward pass in the middle of the floor that nobody saw coming, and he clearly came across the line, tried to kick it back. I think the officials wondered if he had landed yet, but after kind of freeze framing it, they said, yeah, he did. A spin by Clabo and a big step to the basket. Mason Clabo setting up a move with his back to the basket in the high post, and Clabo with 3 field goals has blue-collared his way to a 10-point night here in the opening half. The lead is 22. Callahan Burchell trapped, deflected basketball, and a big foul coming over the top by Callahan Burchell, going after the ball on Nick Hasbargen, who was going to the hole in transition. Burchell did go after the ball, however. Good foul for Callahan Burchell. If you're going to foul aggressively, but make sure you make a play at the ball to avoid anything beyond. I think right now you see Bart Manson talking with an official about whether or not that should have been more, but I think clearly made a play on the ball, just a really hard play on the ball. Hasbargen's first foul shot is good. And the lead for Davies is up to 23 at 37-14, and they've quietly pulled away at this level. Second foul shot won't go. It's taken extended periods of time for the Eagles, and they've done it with their defense, not their offense, which is probably why their stretch has been, at least seemed, to be quiet. Reese Krewald into the front court for the Highlanders. Jacobson, right corner back to Krewald, down to Bratrud, turning against a double team. He banged away inside and draws a foul. Hasbargen weak side. Clabo was there. It was Hasbargen on the help, and Hasbargen's going to be called for the foul, his first. Just the fifth against Fargo Davies tonight. And Ari Bratrud will go to the foul line. Bratrud shooting foul shots at 42% on the season. He comes up empty on the front end. Bratrud with a bucket earlier tonight. Best foul shooter on the floor is Mason Clabo at 80% this evening. And from a guy averaging 22, you would figure that he's going to be a good foul shooter at this level. Second for Bratrud won't fall, and the rebound does come down to Hasbargen for Fargo Davies. So the Highlanders will go 0-2 from the foul line. Daniel Yorkie into the front court for the Eagles. Mason Clabo, a couple of crossovers on Will Eggert, a step back and a pull-up jump shot. He missed it. Good confront by Eggert that time. Jacobson comes away with it, leads to Eggert. High bank shot, the touch and transition. Eggert left it a little strong. And the rebound to Mason Clabo getting back defensively for Fargo Davies. We're down to 3 minutes to play until halftime. Bounce pass to the high post for Havelka and the Eagles. Havelka looking right side. Hasbargen taking a look in. Reverses to Ray Brown on top. Brown a step back from just inside the foul line. He missed it. Yorkie comes up with an offensive rebound. Tried to kick to the perimeter, and Carver Peterson disrupted it. It'll stay Eagles basketball in the front court. Riley Hansen will step into the matchup. When I talked to the coaching staff, some of them expected Cole Calise to start tonight, but they do say the Eagles like to change it up from time to time. Clabo getting inside, then using the shoulder to muscle off a defender. Missed the shot a little short. Offensive board, though, to Yorkie. Hansen driving baseline. He'll score. Going right down the left baseline for the lay-in. Riley Hansen is 6. And now the lead for the Eagles is again up to 25 at 39-14. Carver Peterson set for 3. Catch and shoot, missed it. Bratrud a weak side, board. Turns it out to the perimeter for Ray Brown. And actually, correction, Will Eggert. And now Jacobson will go to work with the basketball for Valley City. Splitting a double team. Eggert with the dribble, trying to go hard down low. May have had Bratrud on a quick toss, but took it himself and draws a foul against the Eagles. And it will go against Riley Hansen. Hansen's first. I've got 7 for Fargo Davies. Correction, now I've got 6. My apologies. A little misprint in the book. Eggert's first foul shot double kisses its way through. And the Highlanders are back to within 24. They have 5 on the board for Fargo Davies, and they haven't changed it since the last couple of fouls, so I could be wrong as well. Will Eggert's second foul shot is good. That one a little better look than the first one. He knocked them both down. Highlanders back within 23, 39-16. 2:05 to play in the opening half. Ball right side, Mason Clabo. Crossover dribble, got to the baseline, scores on Ari Bratrud. He just left Will Eggert behind and then goes in and attacks Ari Bratrud. And Mason Clabo, again, stringing together a 12-point night that doesn't really have an exclamation point, but a very quality night nonetheless. A drive by Eggert, he's fouled. And when we say there's no exclamation point, That's still more than halfway to his average, but you see 22 points per game, and what you've seen from Mason Claybo that's been really good tonight has really been the way he set up his teammates. It hasn't been so much about his scoring, and he still scored 12 in the opening half. Will Eggert fouled in the act of shooting. He'll knock down the front end. The foul was called against Riley Hansen, number 2 on Hansen. I've got 7 in my book for Davies. They've got 6 on the scoreboard right now, so perhaps I assessed the foul incorrectly. Second foul shot for Eggert is good. He's 4 of 4 from the foul line, and the lead is 41-18. Fargo Davies now with a 23-point lead on Valley City. A curl by Mason Claybo using a screen. Yorkie coming back left to right, jump stopping through a pair of defenders. Bratrud disrupted the basketball, ends up out of bounds. They're going to say that hit Yorkie in the head before it went out of bounds, so the ball will go back to Valley City. Bratrud will force a turnover. Cole Calise back in for the Eagles, replacing Yorkie. And Carver Peterson will inbound from beyond the baseline. Bounce pass Jacobson. Carver Peterson hit by a trap backcourt. Carson Eggert breaking the trap and moving his way into the front court. Has his back to the basket, came back to the top. Jacobson from 14 feet. Jumper trickles and won't fall. Rebound ends up out of bounds. We'll wait to see. They made a verbal call, no physical indication as of yet. Highlander's going to keep it. Reese Krewald comes in, replacing Will Eggert. Good look for Aiden Jacobson. He's been close to hitting those jump shots throughout the course of the year, but a little snake bit from that spot. Bratrud, a spin move off the dribble, trying to attack the basket off the inbounds pass. He then threw it to the perimeter, and waiting was Ray Brown for a takeaway for Fargo Davies. Eagles back up front. Claybo head fake, draws the defender. Steps in and kicks out. Calise, a left corner 3, comes up short. Bratrud has the board, taking away from his teammate Aiden Jacobson. Out to Carson Eggert, 3-on-2 if he hurries. Eggert kicking left side. Carver Peterson in motion for 3. Ends up left it short. Claybo spiked the rebound. Carver Peterson got it back. Goes back to the basket, misses that one wide, and Calise has the rebound for Fargo Davies. We're down to 50 seconds in the opening half. Ray Brown a step back. That's going to be called a travels. Brown took an extra step, getting back out in the corner. Brown incredulous on that one. He didn't think he would see the travel against him. He thought he set up pretty well, and he hit the 3, but Valley City gets the basketball back with 45 seconds left to play in the half, 27 on the shot clock. Underneath, right through the hands of Carson Eggert, and a long pass and off the shoulder. It comes back with Ray Brown, who steps in, a little Euro, goes to the basket, missing, and this time Carver Peterson back for the board. He got stripped. Balling it up out of bounds, and it's going to go to Valley City. They'll say Ray Brown made some contact with it while he was standing on the baseline. We'll see the return of Kamani Davis for Fargo Davies. He'll come on to replace Max Mitzel in the Davies lineup. And the Highlanders get it back with a differential of about 6 seconds, maybe 5.5. Aiden Jacobson up front. Carver Peterson tripped, no call. And the ball goes rolling free. It'll be picked up on the floor by Nick Hasbargen, so they'll play through that. Shot clock turned off, and Davies can have one if they want it with 15 seconds left until halftime. Claybo out in the high right corner. He'll drive towards the right, hard take in the lane. Had it knocked loose. Hasbargen rescued it. Fall away off the glass. How about that? Little fall away hook shot for Nick Hasbargen. His first field goal. The Highlanders get one off at the horn. Good if it goes, but it's wide, and that's the end of the opening half of play. Again, it was a quiet pull away for Fargo Davies. For a while, the Highlanders did some things right defensively, but few offensive options for the Highlanders in that opening half, and they find themselves down 25 at the end of the first stanza of play. After one on the LaRue-Laco Financial scoreboard, it is Fargo Davies 43 and Valley City 18. We'll come back with your halftime numbers in just a couple of moments, try to check some scores from around the area as well. Highlander basketball continues next on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember,
Whitlock, and coached by Maddie Langlow. Fans, February is National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. This issue impacts everyone, not just teens, but also their parents, teachers, friends, and communities. Today, we are partnering with the Abused Persons Outreach Center in helping raise awareness by participating in National Wear Orange Day to bring awareness in an effort to focus on advocacy and education to stop dating abuse before it starts. Dating violence is more common than you may think, especially among teens and young adults. 1 in 3 U.S. teens will experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse from someone they're in a relationship with before they become adults. The 2023 theme for Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month is Be About It. Selected by the Love is Respect Youth Council, Be About It is a continuation of last year's theme, Talk About It. This year, during Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month, we're unapologetically about education, engagement, and empowerment, and we're here to amplify the voices of teens and young adults, and those who support them by uplifting positive, healthy, and safe relationships. Be About It calls on us all to create a world free from relationship abuse. To find support, relationship education, or for more information, you can visit loveisrespect.org or contact the Abused Persons Outreach Center. They can connect you with more information.
Created a number of extra opportunities for themselves. Their defense was just stifling, and they used the turnovers. Again, they didn't use them necessarily for fast break opportunities, but when they got those turnovers, they got into a set offense that they execute extremely well. We talked about their balance in the opening half. They've got threats all around the floor. We see that with a couple of guys already in double figures in the opening half, but several players in there for support purposes, and it's kind of their MO. You can see that when they're forcing turnovers, they're going to be a very, very difficult team to contend with, and they showed that to us in the first 20 minutes of this one tonight. Individual numbers, Fargo Davies is co-led by Ray Brown and Mason Clabo, each with 12 points in the opening half, a combined 7 of 8 from the foul line for those two men, and they combined for 3 3-point shots. Ray Brown hit a couple of threes, had 3 field goals. Clabo hit a 3, had 4 total field goals. Riley Hansen with 6 on 3 buckets. Cole Calise hit a 3 off the bench for 5. Nick Hasbargen has 3 at the end of the opening half. A bucket for Parker Havalka. He's got 2, and a bucket for Daniel Yorkie as well. For Valley City, they were led by 4 points from Will Eggert, Talon Larson, and Callahan Burchell. 2 points piece for Carson Eggert, Aiden Jacobson, and Ari Bratrud. Zach Sikora, the leading scorer for the Highlanders, scoreless in the opening half. And it's worth mentioning that he played with some rather significant foul trouble, as did Talon Larson. You saw Sikora with 3 fouls early in the opening half of play, and then Talon Larson picking up a second and having to be withdrawn. So Valley City, from a personnel standpoint, didn't have a chance to put their best foot forward the entire half, but they did have stretches where they had the men on the floor they wanted, and still it was tough to deal with that Fargo Davies pressure defense. 25-point lead for the Eagles on your halftime summary, 43-18 in favor of Fargo Davies at the break. Second half basketball, we'll check some scores as we continue. Highlander basketball continues next on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
This is Amy Heim, nurse practitioner with Sanford Health. Well child checks are important visits for children of every age. Yearly well child checks are recommended for children 3 and older and more frequently for those younger than 3. It is at these visits that growth, development, and preventative care are addressed in an effort to keep children as healthy as possible. Recommended immunizations are also discussed and provided at these visits. Call 742-3267 to schedule at your local Sanford Health Clinic in Ellendale, Foreman, Gwinner, Lemoore, Lisbon, or Oaks.
February is the month of love and romance. Get creative with a gift for your loved one from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy. Browse and discover all kinds of gifts for him and her. The flu and cold season is here. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource. Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Smith Lumber Home Center is your store for everyone. Now through February 18th, there are all kinds of deals to love. Specials of the month, quick set lock set, $9.99. Other deals for him or her do-it-yourselfers, channel lock folding sawhorse, $39.97. Milwaukee work gloves, $25.99. Check the deals to love flyer. That includes all kinds of cleaning supplies, birdseed, humidifiers, heaters, and more. Smith Lumber Home Center, East Main, Valley City, your store for everyone.
We're at halftime here at the Highlander Activity Center, Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here this evening from the Hack. The Highlanders down by 25, 43-18 to Fargo Davies at the end of the opening half of play. We get ready for the second half of play. Looking for a score, if we can find it, from girls basketball tonight over at Fargo Davies, as the girls are over there as well. And again, that one is now worth 2 points in the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight, due to the fact that they will meet now only once this year. A tough year to try to get games in, apparently, so there's that. Some scores that we could pass along to you, though, that might be of note in the East region. At boys, for boys basketball at the half, Grand Forks Red River with a 33-23 lead over West Fargo Cheyenne. That game, I believe, at West Fargo Cheyenne tonight. And a score from out west as well. In girls basketball, Mandan leading Dickinson 77-49. Final score there, or I should say rather the current score there. In girls basketball, Red River leading Cheyenne 37-25. Those are some of the scores that have come in so far. We do not have a score as of yet in Highlander girls basketball over Fargo Davies. Looks like we're getting a score in now, in fact. I'm told it's 47-29, Davies by 18, just underway in the second half. They have 17 minutes left in the second. And right now, a 42-29 game in favor of Fargo Davies. That is over at Fargo Davies tonight. Here, the Highlanders down by a score of 43-18. And the Highlanders will have the basketball to start half number 2. Again, we're back in action here on Friday night. The Highlander girls will take on Fargo South. They defeated the Bruins the first time around. We didn't have a chance to bring you that game due to it being made up at noon on a weekday. So we'll bring it to you this time on Friday night. That'll be on our partner station, Q101. More on that in a bit. Callahan Birchall in the high post spinning one back out to the perimeter that's knocked away by Alpha Kamara. The Highlanders will be on Q101 on Friday night, as we will have college basketball for you here on KOVC with the Vikings and Bellevue coming to town. And that will be on Friday evening here on KOVC. Highlanders on Friday night on Q101. Will Eggert, top of the key to Zach Sikora, back in after taking that third foul. They go inside for Talon Larson. He posts up, but cannot knock down the shot. And Alpha Kamara has the rebound for Fargo Davies. 25-point lead for the Eagles as they walk their way back into the front court. Riley Hansen on top, looking in the post down low. Clabo with his back to the basket on Will Eggert, squares up and scores. Wow, that's not bad defense for Will Eggert to stand in there with Mason Clabo, but Clabo is not your prototypical guard. He is very comfortable putting his back to the basket from pretty much anywhere. We saw him use that post-up move in the high post to go down the left side of the lane from about 13 feet away from the basket and still get the lay-in. That time, a rather true post-up situation. He'll shoot the three as well. He's a complete offensive player. Spin move on Will Eggert for Clabo. Double pivot up and under. Gets to the basket and Clabo scores again. And now it's 16 points for Mason Clabo. Will Eggert with 2 fouls. Now a turnover as Davies ends up forcing a ball away from the Highlanders in the inbounds pass with Alpha Kamara. Kamara will lose that out of bounds. It'll stay Highlander basketball. Aiden Jacobson will step off. Carson Eggert will step into the matchup. Will Eggert with 2 fouls and may have taken his hands off there a little bit on those last 2 possessions by Clabo to avoid the third. But Mason Clabo showing you a variety of moves. Sikora for 3, looking for his first scoring tonight for Valley City, and it comes up empty. Clabo comes down with the rebound, and Fargo Davies will walk the ball back up front. Minute 15 in, 47-18. The Highlanders find themselves down by a 29-point margin, and they're going to get Callahan Burchell for a bit of a sticky foul, just kind of checking the basketball out in the top of the key. Burchell's second. Not much contact there. Actually, they're going to give Burchell his 3rd personal foul now. Inbounds pass in to Daniel Yorkie on the sideline. He'll swing to Clabo in the off-guard spot, far side of the floor. Clabo hard take to the basket, scoop, got it against 2 different defenders. Mason Clabo now with 18. He has all 6 Davies points to start the second half. Lead 31. Burchell for 3. He connects for his 7th point tonight. Callahan Burchell stepping into a 3-point shot and scoring, and the lead is cut to 28. 49-21 in favor of Davies. Ray Brown, top of the key for the Eagles. Bouncing one right side to Clabo. Driving right on Eggert. Spin move, double pivot. Falls away. Kicks it out to Yorkie driving from the left corner. Yorkie got inside, missed the shot. Larson had the ball. Alpha Kamara ripped it away. We've got a whistle. Jump ball on the hold. And this will stay Highlander basketball on the arrow. Carver Peterson back into the matchup for Valley City. He'll replace Callahan Burchell. It'll stay Davies basketball, rather. My mistake. Apologies, folks. Clabo takes the inbounds pass in the left corner. Couple of jab steps down the baseline. Kicking out. Riley Hansen trying to split a double team. Ended up coming to an awkward stop and tried to scoop back to Kamara. The Highlanders broke that up. Will Eggert takes it only to turn it over. Tried to wink a pass to Carson Eggert. It's ripped away by Ray Brown, and Yorkie going to the basket will draw a foul. And Fargo Davies is on their way to the foul line. Foul's going to go, I believe, against Will Eggert. Eggert, number 3. So defending Mason Clabo getting a little bit more difficult now with Eggert with 3 fouls. First foul for Dan Yorkie is good. That will give him 3 on the night. Aiden Jacobson will come on to replace Will Eggert, but Mason Clabo has already begun to pick up his offensive stroke here early in the second half, and that was against the Highlander lockdown defender that they can put out there. Yorkie's second foul shot is good. He's got 4. And it's 51-21. The Highlanders find themselves down 30 in the early moments of this second half. Jacobson, right side to Carson Eggert. Couple of wiggles of the shoulders, goes in. Talon Larson posting up, and a late whistle and a foul. Boy, Larson got physical inside on Mason Clabo, gave him a couple of good shoulder bumps and knocked him out of the way. Clabo is holding the midsection a little bit. That may be a bit for show, but Clabo's got, that'll be his first foul. That's where I was off. I apparently assessed a foul to Clabo he didn't get in the opening half. Talon Larson, first foul shot is good. We've seen some good minutes from Talon Larson down the stretch of the season. He's legitimately earned an opportunity to start in that post spot, and they're going to build around him. Jack Dieterle, they'll have some size going forward. Second foul shot for Larson won't fall. And a loose ball rebound underneath to Yorkie for Fargo Davies. The lead is 29 for the Eagles. Yorkie driving in, kicking out. Riley Hansen in rhythm for 3, and he hits it from the right wing. Riley Hansen now with 9, approaching the double-figure night. Lead is 32 at 54-22. Davies, a drive in, foul line jumper for Zakor. He'll make a man miss, then steps in, tries from about 12 feet and misses the jumper. Yorkie quickly up the floor in transition, scores off the glass, taking a bump on the way there. Daniel Yorkie with 6. The lead grows to 34, and Ty Terry wants a timeout for Valley City. After 3 minutes of the second half, the Eagles have really launched forward. 56-22. It's Fargo Davies by 34 in the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility.
Here, when our path takes an unexpected turn, we keep moving forward. When life sends us a message, we listen. When you're determined to beat the odds, we help you plan for what's next. This is commitment, resourcefulness, determination. These are remarkable people doing remarkable things together.
By supporting scholarships online at give.vcsu.edu or by calling the VCSU Foundation.
Well, the Highlander girls are running into the same amount of luck down in Fargo tonight. It's 64-35. The girls are down 29 with 13 left. By the way, to the fans out there that send me the score updates via text message, I just want to say I appreciate you keeping us up to date on that other game that's going on out there. Really do appreciate your efforts on that. Thank you for doing that for us tonight. Highlanders with the basketball. They'll turn it over. Alpha Kamara comes up with a takeaway for Fargo Davies. Claybo to the glass, trying to finish with the left hand. He's going to the foul line. Took a bump on the way to the basket. Missed the shot, but we'll have an opportunity at 2 foul shots. Carver Peterson likely, and it will be Carver Peterson's first personal foul. Some news and notes as we take in these foul shots. Ashlyn Diemert, 5'9" sophomore out of West Fargo, North Dakota, was named the North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week this week for Valley City State's women. Diemert averaged 20.5 points, 5.5 rebounds in the weekend down at Waldorf and Viterbo, and hit the game-winning shot as time expired in the matchup against Viterbo for a 79-78 victory over the V-Hawks for the Vikings to keep Valley City State 2 games up in that 4th place position in the league. With 3 games to go. Both foul shots were good for Mason Claybo. He now has a 20-point night, 58-22. Highlanders down 36. Jacobson, lefty 3 from the wing, is short. He got his own miss in the foul line. Steps in, pulls up from 12. Second effort's off the heel, and Ray Brown comes down with a rebound for Fargo Davies. He'll trail his way into the front court. Gives it back to Yorkie on the far sideline. Yorkie stepping up on top, twists it back to Ray Brown. Claybo on the left block, back to the basket, backing down Jacobson, hit by a double team. Got a loose basketball, spins the left hand, left that one short. Rebound comes out to Kamara offensively. He'll turn to the corner for Riley Hansen, who spied a 3, but cooler heads prevail. Kamara inside, making the cut to Claybo with the bump. He just about got it to go. That was a nifty-looking play, tic-tac-toe around the basket for Fargo Davies, and you thought Kamara was going to go in and try to finish, but he had the alertness of mind to try to find Mason Claybo cutting, and Claybo nearly got that to go after a very good bump. He got hit hard on the way to the basket. He'll score his 21st from the foul line, and the lead is 59-22 Davies. Talon Larson out. Ari Bratrud returns to the game for the Highlanders. Cole Calise will step back onto the floor for Davies. Calise is going to replace Riley Hansen. During the next break, I'm going to take another look at the numbers for Fargo Davies. The numbers that I saw for Davies today had Calise averaging 21.4, but I may be off on that. Calise hasn't played a lot of minutes tonight. Ari Bratrud comes up with a rebound of Mason Claybo's miss. Sikora back out to the top for Carver Peterson. Aiden Jacobson for 3 left wing. That's short. Rebound to Calise, and he wants to run 4 on 3. Right side for Max Mitzel, and Mitzel's going to slow things down. Went looking for Claybo on the perimeter, not there, so Calise comes open on the right block, being chased by Aiden Jacobson. To the left wing, Yorkie pulls up on a long-range jumper over Bratrud's outstretched arms. He ends up missing the shot. The rebound goes through the hands of Carver Peterson. They're going to say the ball's going back to Valley City, and boy, it looked like Carver mishandled that on the baseline. But no, they're going to say it was touched by the Eagles. Bart Manson asks for a little bit of help, but then will sort of back down. Again, the lead being 37. Probably doesn't want to press the issue too badly. Valley City into the front court with a basketball. A turn by Carson Egger, trapped by some pressure defense from Ray Brown. They'll swing it into the corner for Sikora. A stop back out to the top of the key. Turned by Peterson. Right corner, Krewald. 3 on the way, in and out. Rebound fought for underneath. Bratrud and Claybo went back to back, and it ends up going loose. It's picked up by Yorkie. Drives the lane and picks up a foul from Carver Peterson. And that'll be the 5th or 6th against Valley City already. And that's actually going to go against Zach Sikora. That'll be Sikora's 4th personal foul. Jumper off the inbounds pass for Calise, that won't fall, and Mitzel's fouled. That'll be the 6th foul against Valley City. Likely Ari Brattrud's turn. No, he won't have his number called either. Reese Krewald is going to pick that one up. Well, normally I don't use the glasses to look at the floor. Maybe I have to think about doing that because I've been off on everything tonight. Mitzel knocks down the front end. That'll make it 60-22. Fargo Davies by 38. Parker Havelka back into the matchup for the Eagles. Second for Mitzel's on the way, and that will roll off, and a Carver Peterson rebound for Valley City will begin to have him surveying his options. 60-22, Valley City down 38. Sikora step back, thought about the three, kicks out, and an Eggert three is good from the right wing. Carson Eggert stepping out on the wing. Second field goal of the half for Valley City. We're 5.5 minutes in. Both have been threes, one by Callahan Birchall, that one coming from Eggert. And the Highlanders are back within 35 at 60-25. Ray Brown to Mason Claybo on the left wing. Claybo coming back right, hard taking the lane, tried to dish down low. It's deflected in favor of Havelka, taken away by Carson Eggert, and Eggert will find Carver Peterson in transition. Peterson will score his first two, and the lead is cut to 33. So a little burst from Valley City, trying to brighten their spirits. Claybo driving into the foul line, a stop, return back out to the wing for Brown. Now Mitzel, three from the right corner is no good, and Ari Brattrud comes up with a rebound for Valley City. Eggert, no look pass. Carver Peterson the reverse, and he'll score. Nice looking play by Carson Eggert. It's one of those highlights that a team is looking for. And this type of situation, it's a 7-0 run for Valley City. Claybo to the basket missing. Rebound Reese Krewald. Here comes Valley City. They can cut this lead under 30. Krewald Sikora catch and shoot three. It comes up off the front of the rim. This time Claybo got back defensively to pull down the rebound. Now he wants to run with a full head of steam. A stop, shoulder in on Ari Brattrud. Steps out to the perimeter. Takes a look, backdoor cut. Ray Brown, that's a beautiful pass. Head fake goes underneath the Havelka, who draws the foul. I think if you're Bart Manson, you want Ray Brown to go finish that possession and just go to the basket. He made the extra pass, and Ari Brattrud ends up picking up the foul. That'll be Brattrud's first. Nice little run there for Valley City, and you know, when you're in games like this, you look for the little wins, you look for the story, something you can hang your hat on, and here's what I like about what we're seeing from Valley City tonight is Havelka's first foul shot is no good. What you're seeing from this Highlander team tonight is they've kind of forgotten what the score is. They're not playing to that right now. They went on a 7-0 run. They continue to compete. They're down by 30, but they're continuing to go after what they can control in the matchup. And, you know, that's sort of, I guess, a symbol, if you will, or maybe a signal that they're still in this thing, and they're going to play this thing out to the end this year as Havelka knocks down the back end. 32-point game for Davies at 61-29. Valley City in the front court after the made foul shot. Will Eggert curling to the foul line. Hands it off to Carson Eggert. Step back and look. Krewald backdoor. Eggert spiking one down low for Brattrud. And a good return by Kamani Davis to jump down on that passing lane for Fargo Davies and knock that out of bounds. 11:05 to play in the second half. Highlanders will inbound. Carson Eggert to play it in. They'll corner the paint. Backdoor underneath. Carver Peterson rejected. Hard take back over the front by an athletic Alpha Kamara to reject that shot. Kamara gets underneath, plays it out to Cole Calise. Head fake stepping in, looking out on top. Drive coming in from Kamani Davis. He'll go back to Calise. Cut down low. Kamara drop step down the baseline over the front of the rim and missed it. And the rebound comes out with Reese Krewald. He'll turn it out to Will Eggert. He's got a 3-on-1. Eggert kicking right side. Carver Peterson didn't quite have a chance to get the three away. Now he does on a return from Krewald, and his three comes up strong. Rebound to Havelka underneath for Fargo Davies. 10.5 to go, second half. Eagles up by a score of 61-29. Ball on the middle of the floor. Yorkie looking left side, finding Davis. A stop by Davis. He'll give it away to Havelka. Now Cole Calise on the handoff. Back to Alpha Kamara on the top of the key. Kamani Davis curling with a right-hand dribble. Sends to Havelka on top. Right side Yorkie. He'll attack with a shot clock down to 5 to the basket. He scores. And that's a heads-up Fargo Davies team as well. Bart Manson isn't trying to run the score up at all. His team took a good 20 seconds off the clock, using all of the shot clock before they decide to attack. Got the game under control. The main effort is to get out of here as Carson Eggert goes to the basket and scores his 7th. And the lead is 63-31. And that's maybe why you see Mason Claybo on the bench right now for the Eagles as well, though he's set to return. But right now you can see Fargo Davies really trying to play a slower tempo of half-court basketball. Yorkie jumping his way into the lane, ends up losing the basketball. It goes back to Carson Eggert. Highlanders back in the front court, looking right side. Carver Peterson, another chance to cut it to 30 or fewer. Off the right, Will Eggert, back to Carson Eggert on the right sideline in front of the Highlander bench. He'll pull for three. It's off the heel. Bratrud looking for a board against Havelka. Good block out, though, by Parker Havelka. He'll play the ball back to Yorkie. Davies stop and go dribble from Yorkie. Was fouled on his way to the basket, and this will stay Eagles basketball with a host of changes coming up now. For Fargo Davies, we'll see 5 new players all the way around. Bratrud will get a break in favor of Talon Larson. For Valley City, Aiden Jacobson comes on, replacing Carson Eggert. Here's a third change for Valley City as Callahan Burchell will come into the matchup, replacing Carver Peterson. And the Eagles have sent Ray Brown and Riley Hansen and Mason Clabo back into the matchup. Foul shot on the way for Yorkie is good. Yorkie has a 9-point matchup tonight. Looking now for double figures. Hansen, Khalees, Sat for Fargo Davies. Second foul shot won't go down, but Mason Clabo with an offensive rebound backs his way in and traveled before he could finish a reverse layup. That has the Davies crown groaning. It's pretty good play by Mason Clabo inside. They'd rather see him get the finish on that, and he does not. Kamara also sat for Fargo Davies in that sequence. We're at the halfway point of the second half. Davies on top, 64-31. Krewald, top of the key to Will Eggert. He'll look right side and threw that one behind Aiden Jacobson. Ball goes out of bounds as Jacobson made a cut to the baseline. Ball came out to the wing. And so the Eagles will get it back with 8:57 to go in the second half of play. And Yorkie into the front court now for the Eagles, looking left side. A three by Brown from the wing is good. Ray Brown stepping into a nice release on the three. He's got 15 points tonight for Fargo Davies, and they'll swing the lead to 67-31, a 36-point advantage for the Eagles. And now a rip away by Yorkie. Baseball play up the floor. Mason Clabo hard to the basket, got fouled by Talon Larson. I think Clabo was talking to Talon Larson on his way away from the basket. Talon Larson not really acknowledging. He'll pick up his third. Highlander girls are down 80-47 with 6 minutes left to go over at Fargo Davies tonight. So a 33-point lead for the Eagles in that matchup. First foul shot is good for Mason Clabo. Clabo now has 22. 10 on this side of half. He had 12 at halftime, so he's reached his average. And 8:33 to go. Second is good. That'll give him 23. And it's 69-31. Valley City trailing by 38 as Aiden Jacobson walks his way back into the front court for the Highlanders. A stop and a look. Talon Larson, top of the key. Taking a look in, stepping away from some pressure, and then finding Callahan Burchell. Baseline cut. We've got a whistle and a foul on the floor, I believe against Kamani Brown, as Burchell made his move to the basket, and that will be the call. Or I'm sorry, Kamani Davis. My apologies to the Eagles fans that might be with us. Kamani Davis being called for the foul. Start taking a look at what the Highlanders have left as far as games as Sikora pulls the trigger for three and hits from the right corner. Zach Sikora's first scoring tonight. And the Highlanders are back within 35 at 69-34 with 8 minutes left to go in the game. Yorkie stepping in, out to the wing. Kamani Davis to Ray Brown on top. Brown a couple of head fakes, drawing the defense of Sikora. Clabo back to the basket on Reese Krewald. Clabo stepping in, jump stop from 8 feet. Double kiss on the hook shot, can't get it. And Krewald comes down with a rebound, but he threw it away. Kamani Davis trying to get loose now after taking it in transition, and Davis is going to the foul line as Krewald laid in a little harm to keep him away from the easy basket. Krewald's second. 4 games left for the Highlanders. They'll go to Fargo South, and they'll go to Fargo Shanley on the bookends. In the interior, Red River's coming here on Valentine's Day. And we'll see West Fargo Horace here on Friday, February 17th. And that's the way this thing's going to come to a conclusion in the EDC. And then it's time to move on to play-in basketball for Valley City. Foul shot is good for Kamani Davis. Both will go down for Davis. Makes it 71-34. The Highlanders find themselves down by 37. And Aiden Jacobson will walk the ball into the front court for Valley City. Jacobson across the far side of the floor, handing off. A turn by Robert Fisher, who's entered the game for the first time for the Highlanders, and his pass knocked out of bounds by Max Mitzel. Fisher, 6'1 senior, stepping on the floor for Valley City. Callahan Burchell to inbound the basketball. Burchell taking a look, holds the ball above his head, comes back to the right side for Aiden Jacobson. On top, Sikora stepping right, comes back out top of the key for Fisher. Fisher, a crossover dribble, working right hand, hands to Sikora. Sikora trying to curl his way back to the right elbow, sends it back to the top. Jacobson crossover, he's met on top and a steal from Ray Brown. Brown going up the floor 2-on-1, he got hit hard going to the basket, and he comes away clutching his shoulder, his left shoulder. Boy, the way he was holding his shoulder, it looked like that arm could be damaged, but Zach Sikora is going to foul out of the game with 3 points tonight, laying in the harm to keep Ray Brown from an easy bucket. The way he was hanging his arm there for a second, it almost looked like that shoulder had really been hurt. Brown's first foul shot is good. It double kisses its way through. Ray Brown with 16. Right now, just 2 Eagles in double figures. They're close in a couple of spots. Daniel Yorkie needs another point to get himself to doubles tonight. I've got him for 9 in my book. But the lead to 73-34, Eagles by 39. Burchell in the post. He'll be fouled. And going to have to get some guys play a little hands off here if we're going to get this one done tonight. Mason Claybo second. There's a lot of time left. 7:08 to go here in the second half. And I think if you're Bart Manson and the Eagles, you kind of want your guys to play hands off at least a little bit. You don't want to lose any intensity, but don't want to continue the game either. We've got an out-of-bounds play against Valley City on a baseline cut where a player steps on the baseline, and so Fargo Davies will get it back with 7:05 to play in the second half. A little step into the front court. Yorkie on the top of the key looking left. Ray Brown pulls the trigger for 3. It's in and out. And a rebound comes down in and out of the hands of Aiden Jacobson. It's stripped loose by the Eagles. Yorkie with it into Claybo. Pulls the trigger, a little teardrop in the lane, and he hits it. Mason Claybo with 25. 75-34. Highlanders down 41. 6:40 to play in the second half. A step and a little backdoor looking for Eggert down the line to Robert Fisher. Deflected up in the air by the Eagles, and Mason Claybo comes away with it. Claybo from just inside the three-point line is strong. Rebound, Claybo able to run it down underneath. He leaves it up for Alpha Kamara, who catches and taps in a one-handed motion. Claybo left a little hook layup pass, and now Claybo steals a basketball. Behind the back pass found Yorkie on a cut up the floor, but it ends up out of bounds on the transition play, and the Highlanders will get it back. On that previous play, though, for Claybo, what an effort. Mason Claybo, a little hook over his head to his left, and he put it up in the air for Kamara to make a cut to the basket. Kamara went up with one hand, his right hand, caught it with the right hand and redirected it with the fingertips and tapped it in from over the front of the rim. I mean, that's an aggressive type of timing play that, you know, a couple of guys have been working on for a while. Eggert, behind the back dribble for Valley City, turned it over. He went to the near side of the lane. It's ripped away by Claybo. Ray Brown to the races for an easy dish. Ray Brown now with 19, and the lead will grow to 79-34 in favor of Fargo Davies. I actually thought that was the lead. We'll see a foul coming up as Brown pressures Aiden Jacobson. And we'll see some changes here for Fargo Davies. Riley Hansen back in, Kamani Davis back in, Parker Havelka will return for the Eagles. Claybo's night appears to be over. Alpha Kamara's night, Ray Brown's night appear to be over. What a night for Mason Claybo. 25 points tonight. And again, not a real flashy effort, just a solid 25-night performance from Claybo. Callahan Burchell, a deep three from the square-up spot, no good. Rebound taken out on the far side by Talon Larson. He had a double-double last time we saw him with 16 points and 10 rebounds against Wapaton. He ends up throwing that ball away. Fargo Davies will get it back. But what really, convinces you that you've got the talent, Mason Claybo, is that he put effort in, but he didn't dominate a game tonight with 25 points. Davis for a three, no good. He dominated a handful of minutes early in the second half, but every once he just converts so many times that he doesn't have to get the ball repeatedly to score a number of points. Max Mitzel with a long elbow jumper, and Mitzel will score his first 2 tonight on a field goal. He's got 3 total, hit a foul shot earlier. 81-34 in favor of the Eagles. A pull-up on the baseline by Aiden Jacobson that won't fall. Mitzel has the rebound, tracks his way in the front court. Bryson Heck is in the game for Valley City for his first minutes tonight. A 6'2 sophomore playing at a guard spot. Kamani Davis cutting the lane to the basket. Kamani Davis will score his first 2 on the field goal. First bucket, he's got 4 total, hit a couple of foul shots earlier as well. 83-34, lead 39 for Fargo Davies with 4.5 minutes to play in the second half. Jacobson on top, looking left side, kicks out Carver Peterson. Spied a three, pulled it back in. Reverses back to Bryson Heck out between the rings, and now to Callahan Birchall out on the right side. Shot clock under 10. Birchall stepping back, given some space by Riley Hansen. Clock at 3. Jump stop by Callahan Birchall. He lost the ball in the air. Loose basketball picked away by Cole Calise. Max Mitzel to glass, and he'll score. Little fast break engineered by Cole Calise, and Mitzel scores his 5th. The lead 41, and we are down to 4 minutes remaining. Aiden Jacobson between the legs dribble, attacks in the block, and a foul coming up. Maybe Riley Hansen on the near side with a hand in there for the Eagles. No, it won't be Hansen. I'm not sure who they're going to get here for Fargo Davies. Was it Cole Calise? They may have indicated Cole Calise picking up that foul. Each team making a large number of substitutions here. We mentioned Bryson Heck was out there. Reese Krewald will return. Robert Fisher, Carver Peterson, and now Jack Dieterle as well, the new Highlander. 6'6" freshman. He's made a start this year as well, and I think as he continues to mature, when you see him in JV games, he really seems to have his coordination, the speed of the game down. The varsity game is still a little fast for Jack Dieterle, but they're going to have a really good one in a 6'6" post. And like we mentioned, the future for the Highlanders, if they were able to move into that third division, that middle division, they would have some size to be a pesky little team to go up against a lot of teams as Robert Fisher spins one with the basket. It comes up empty. Talon Larson at 6'5", Jack Dieterle at 6'6", Carver Peterson at 6'5". You have a chance to put together a pretty good lineup here, and they're underclassmen as well. Carson Eggert has been a good guard this year as a junior, seen good minutes from him. Zach Sikora is a junior, the leading scorer, so this team could come together if they get a vote to go their way at the High School Activities Association tomorrow. You could see a very nice 23-24 for a Highlander team that's certainly due to have one of those. Robert Fisher for Valley City following a Davies turnover. 85-34 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Davies leading by 41. A stop by Krewald, bounce pass out to Bryson Heck. Head fake by Heck. Fisher right side, stepping back. 3 on the way for Robert Fisher that won't fall. And the rebound comes down to Parker Havelka, dodging the outstretched arms of Jack Dieterle to pull it in. We're under 3 minutes to play in the second half. New Eagles as well. We'll pick them up for you as we can. Charlie Solberg, 5'10" junior, sending the ball out to the top, and Caleb Scary gave it away to the right side. A long jumper from Maddox Maloney ends up strong. Highlanders come away with the basketball. Peterson a stop. They look in for Dieterle in the post. Back on Havelka. Pulls up, scores over the front of the rim. Jack Dieterle using his size at 6 feet 6 inches, scoring. And the Highlanders are back within 39 at 85-36. Hard take to the basket for Zach Livingood, and Livingood will go to the hole and score. I didn't have him in the book tonight, but Zach Livingood with his first point tonight. The varsity roster for Davies is confusing for a couple of reasons. Robert Fisher taking the ball on the near side for the Highlanders, a stop. Bounce pass into Dieterle, back to the basket, sends it back to Krewald on top. Krewald stepping left and ends up booting the ball out of bounds. Let's go back to Davies. Fargo Davies has 2 number 2s in Daniel Yorkie and Charlie Metzger, 2 number 11s in Ray Brown and Lang Acole. I thought there was one more number. Yeah, 2 number 24s, Parker Worth and Max Frostley. And their stat sheet kind of shows in all those cases both guys playing some. 3 on the left side of the floor is no good for Livingood. Rebound weak side to Carver Peterson. Down to 1:45 to play in the second half. 87-36, Valley City down 41 to Fargo Davies. Krewald out to the top of the key for Bryson Heck. Carver Peterson pulls the trigger, left corner 3 strong. Jack Dieterle, an offensive rebound, draws the double team, swings it back to Krewald. He'll drive in over the front of the rim, missed that. And off the weak side, the rebound is snared over the top from Maddox Maloney. And Fargo Davies will take a timeout just to make substitutions here, get in the rest of their roster. Speaking of those 24s, here's one. It's either Parker Worth or Max Frostley. Now, one is 6'2", the other is 6'8". And it seems like that's the 6'8" one that's on the floor right now. So I'm going to assume that's Frostley, but you never know. That could be Parker Worth. Ball on the left side of the floor for the Eagles. A kick out by Arison Thronvite. He'll come to the right for Livingood. Reversal back to the top of the key. A drive, and Tommy Schreiner will pull the trigger on a 3-point shot and missed it. But a rebound putback is good inside. We'll see who it was. Well, they haven't announced it yet. And they still haven't announced it. Robert Fisher in the right corner. I don't think they're going to announce it. I'll just give it to Parker Worth for right now. It's a good guess, right? 89-36. The Eagles on top now by a 53-point margin. I don't know how it got that high, but somehow it did. My math might have been off a little bit earlier. I apologize. Here's a jump shot for one of those 24s, and it's missed. Rebound comes down with Krewald. Down to 30 seconds to play. Shot clock is just barely on by less than a second. Baseline cut by Krewald. He'll miss. Dieterle and O'Board trying to go back to the basket is fouled, and he'll go to the foul line. So an offensive rebound for Jack Dieterle with 20.3 seconds left to go. Final over in Fargo tonight. The Fargo Davies Eagles defeat Valley City 93-53. Your final score over in Fargo this evening. First foul shot for Dieterle is no good. So we'll take a look at those up-to-date standings as to where we'll be. Fargo Davies going to keep pace with Red River for sure, as the Eagles were a half game out of Red River for first place tonight. Dieterle knocks down the back end. And Valley City will fall to 4-12 in the Eastern Dakota Conference after taking that loss this evening. Actually, they should be 4-14. I don't believe these statistics are updated. And since that was a 2-point game tonight, Fargo Davies will go to 17-1 and actually pass Red River. And that's going to be the end of this one here tonight. Fargo Davies with an 89-37 win over Valley City this evening here at the Highlander Activity Center. The Eagles go to 17-1 in the league. Valley City falls to 0-18. The Eagles are 15-2 overall. Valley City will drop to 1-16 in the overall category. Post-game report and our Player of the Game award is on the way next. This is Highlander basketball on the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOBC.
You don't want to fumble it away with these two events. Valley Meat Supply has you covered for the big game on February 12th and Valentine's Day on February 14th. Take care of your football crowd with meat and cheese trays and appetizers. And for the sweetheart on Valentine's Day, how about those thick, juicy steaks, along with seafood like lobster, crab legs, shrimp, and scallops.
Here, when our path takes an unexpected turn, we keep moving forward. When life sends us a message, we listen. When you're determined to beat the odds, we help you plan for what's next. This is commitment, resourcefulness, determination. These are remarkable people doing remarkable things together.
Courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out on the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank with the highest quality gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything, from snacks and drinks to winter gear and propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Final score this evening from the Highlander Activity Center is Fargo Davies 89, Valley City 37. As we welcome you back to the Highlander Activity Center tonight in Highlander basketball, the voice of the Highlanders and the voice of the Valley, KOBC. Boy, this one solidly belonged to Fargo Davies again at the end of the half until you looked at the scoreboard, and when you did, you found out that, wow, the Highlanders are down by 25, and that's because Fargo Davies didn't really have to score a massive amount of points in succession to pull away in this one tonight. They just continue to play defense. They forced the Highlanders into a number of first half turnovers. Their pressure defense made it very difficult for the Highlanders to really find an offense that they could execute. And Fargo Davies got some again, very blue-collar efforts from Ray Brown and Mason Clabo in the opening half, scoring 12 points apiece. And that's a good number again, but you didn't see any one of them just run away with it. They just continued to chip away, and every time Fargo Davies got the basketball, they seemed to execute. Davies up 43-18 at halftime, and then Mason Clabo kind of took things over early. He had the first 6 points for Fargo Davies in the second half on his way out to 25 for the night, and that was really all that Fargo Davies needed as they get the big lift and win by a score of 89-37. With the win, Fargo Davies picks up another Eastern Dakota Conference victory tonight, and they will stay in first place, obviously, in the EDC standings. Currently a record of 17-1. Valley City will fall to 0-18 as far as Eastern Dakota Conference play is concerned tonight. Individual numbers, Mason Clabo leads the way with 29 points tonight for the Fargo Davies Eagles, 19 for Ray Brown as well. And those are the only two players that finished in double figures tonight. Daniel Yorkie ends up with 9. Riley Hansen ends up with 9. Nice night for Riley Hansen out there as well. The support scoring really didn't turn out to be a huge factor either. Cole Calise with 5. Kamani Davis with 4. 5 for Max Mitzel. Alpha Kamara with 2. Nick Hasbargen with 3. 2 points for Parker Worth, we believe, and 3 points for Parker Havelka. Also 2 tonight for Zach Livingood, but just a lot of different scoring out there for Fargo Davies, and they, again, stretch this thing out and get the victory tonight. For Valley City, Highlanders with a tough night offensively. Carson Eggert and Callahan Burchell, each with 7, will lead the way for Valley City. 4 points for Carver Peterson tonight, and also for Will Eggert. 5 for Talon Larson this evening. He had a nice night rebounding as well. Ari Bratrud ends up with 2 tonight. Zach Sikora fouls out with 3. Again, your final score 89-37 tonight here at the Highlander Activity Center. And earlier tonight we got the final in girls basketball. The Highlander girls were beaten 93-53 by the Fargo Davies Eagles in that one as well. Final order of business is our Player of the Game Award tonight, and our Player of the Game Award is brought to you this evening by Ivy Real Estate Group. They are your locally owned real estate brokerage in Valley City. This one's kind of a tough one tonight. We're going to go with Carson Eggert off the bench this evening with 7 points. Carson Eggert, nice second half coming in there and spelling a position at a guard spot tonight. He's been all around it, in and out of the starting lineup this year, and when you have a night that you can acknowledge somebody that's not in the normal routine, it's nice to do that when he's got an effort. And really, I mean, not a lot of scoring out there for a lot of people this evening, so tough to really pinpoint where the Player of the Game Award should go, but it goes in that situation tonight to Carson Eggert. 7 points tonight. Carson Eggert finding his shot once and getting out there and doing the thing. He'll be our Player of the Game Award winner tonight here at the Highlander Activity Center. And that's going to do it for us here on the Voice of the Valley, KOBC. We thank you for joining us here this evening from the Highlander Activity Center. Remember, Friday night on Q101, it's the Highlander girls in Fargo South here at the Highlander Activity Center. Highlander girls trying to get that big win that can keep them afloat for maybe even a home play-in game in the Eastern Dakota Conference Tournament. They got to take care of business against South at home. We'll have that for you coming up on Friday night on Q101. That's 101.1 FM. And again, what we'll see coming up here on KOVC on Friday night will be college basketball as the Vikings are at home. They welcome to town Bellevue, and then they'll welcome to town Viterbo after that. That's going to do it for us tonight here on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Thank you for joining us this evening. We'll send you back to regular programming with a Fox News update on the way in just about 10 minutes. Your final score again tonight from the Highlander Activity Center, 89-37. Fargo Davies with a win. For KOVC Sports, I'm Ryan Cunningham. So long.